What is up, guys? Welcome back to Dan Reviews, and today we're going to be doing a review of the next volume review, next trade paperback review for the Walking Dead comic book series. This is a really great one. This is volume 14 here, No Way Out. And here you can see on the cover is Rick, Michonne, and looks like to be Carl. And they are kind of, you can tell with the curtains, in a house kind of hiding from all of the walkers. So this will contain spoilers. If you have not read this trade paperback yet of the Walking Dead comic book series, volume 14, we're getting more into these now. We have 26 to review, and this is volume 14. So we're gaining on getting caught up to the comic book series. And if you guys want to see any of the other ones, I'm going to link the playlist for all of the reviews, and I will review every individual review as well if you want to see any of the individuals for any individual trade. Because for you guys that do read the comics, this is cool for you because you can see my opinion on any trade paperback you'd like. So as soon as I can complete them, at least for the first 14, you can go ahead and do that so far. So I'll do 15 in a couple days. I like to do these maybe, usually I do one a week, one, maybe 2 a week. That's usually the pacing I do, right? So, really cool cover. I do like the color. It's like a kind of brown type, kind of green, brown type. It's pretty cool. So, leaving off after Too Far Gone, last trade was a very great trade. We had the attack against, or at least, our group basically had to handle the wolves in the last trade. Rick got in a fight with Peter, killed Peter. It was a very, very crazy trade paperback. This one is probably one of my very favorite trades of the comic book series. And I think once I'm done doing all these reviews, I'll do probably out of 26, I'll probably do a top 5, top 10 type deal, best single issues, or maybe trade paperbacks. I think I'll do trades because it just makes sense since I reviewed the trades. Because I can't really go back and review every individual issue because there's 160 issues at this point. So that'd be impossible. Which, by the way, I think the new issue of Walking Dead is coming out next Wednesday. So I'll do my reaction and review that day once I get the comic. So look forward to that. A lot of stuff going on right now for the Walking Dead comic fans, and really, really fun. So we're in the Whisper War, and we're getting close to the end right now, currently in the comic book series. So So if you guys remember at the end of last trade, we saw that a herd was they heard gunfire from coming from Alexandria, and now they're on their way. So now everybody's everybody kind of thinks everything's cool after the wolf, attack. But what we do end up seeing is that there actually is a pretty crazy herd that gets to Alexandria, and it was the same one that we saw at the end of the last trade. And it's a very crazy scene where Glenn and Heath, they get back to Alexandria, and they see the walkers, and they're just at the gate, right? And look at that. Man, that's insane. But I have to say, in the TV series, I think it was even more insane because in the TV series, we saw Corey full. In the comic, we only kind of saw we saw a good bit, a good couple hundred maybe. But I get the sense in the TV show that there's at least a good 1,000 zombies, maybe 2,000, at least from what it looked like. Then we also have one of the random kind of Alexandrian characters just totally getting eaten alive here. Oh my god. As he's just screaming, and he's saying, "I don't want to die," as he's already bitten. Yeah, that's insane. Everybody kind of finds out about it, and they have to kind of make a plan because they're at the gates, and the gate is going to fall any time. And we also have a very interesting scene here where Rick and Jessie actually get together. So that happens in the TV show as well, kind of around the same time. Like they're not together for a while, except in the TV show it's kind of Rick that kisses her. In the comics, she kind of just finds Rick and kind of wakes him up and just kisses him like that. So that's kind of different, but I don't know. And also in this trade, we really get the sense that they can't handle this herd. It's just too much. And it's just really insane when, like, we end up seeing the actual wall go down, and Spencer actually tries to climb that rope, and he falls down just like in the TV show and heads up, right? You remember? And he falls right down, and they have to, like, rescue him, basically. So that's pretty crazy. I really think that's insane. And then the walkers actually do eventually get in, which is pretty insane. And when they do get in, right away, basically, Morgan gets bit right on the shoulder. And I know you guys that read the comics are gonna say, or that's only saw the TV show, are gonna say, like, what? Morgan dies right there? Like, that's it? Yeah, he actually does die. And Michonne she tries to save him by cutting off his hand or his arm, but it doesn't work, and he just kind of bleeds out even more. So. Yeah, because obviously in the comics, Michonne and Morgan had a little bit of a relationship. Yeah, it's really crazy. And Abraham, he takes a stick and he, like, lights it on fire, and he just, like, burns the zombie's face. And he says, get him to safety, we got this. So that's awesome. And the zombies just, like, flood in. And they all have to, like, hide in their houses, and it's an intense, tense part. And this is the stuff from the TV show where they get in a Guts poncho, right there, right? And actually in the comics, I forgot to say this. Jessie actually only has one kid, Ron. She doesn't have a kid named Sam, and it's actually instead of Sam, like they kind of. In the TV show, it would have made more sense if Ron got eaten alive, right? Because it was Ron in the comic books, but they switched it for the younger kid in the TV show, which I think kind of worked out better. But yeah, her one kid does get eaten alive, basically just how Sam did, and she starts screaming, and she, of course, gets eaten alive. Right? So that's just insane. This is one of the craziest parts of the comics, and then she gets eaten alive. Rick is freaking out, and Rick has to cut off her hand because they were all holding hands, and they're like, it's like stuck, you know, right? Jessie and Carl are holding hands. You guys remember that from the TV show? So he has to kind of separate the hand, and then they fight through zombies to get to like Denise, right? The doctor, you know, man, just insane. They're trying to fight through. And Rick asks, he's like, is everyone okay? And he turns around, and this is a graphic part, and he sees that Carl has just gotten his eye shot out. Oh my god. I think it's even intenser in the comics, because it actually, like, blows some of his face. Like, that is insane, bro. That is absolutely insane. And basically how it happened, because it's different in the comic books, it's actually Deanna / it's a guy in the comic books who runs the community, you know, Douglas, and as he's getting eaten alive, he's about to shoot himself, but he kind of just reacts to all the, like, it's hurting him so much that he pulls a muscle, and it shoots the gun, right, kind of reacts, and he shoots off the gun. You can see there, blam, 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 right, and then Rick kind of sees him getting eaten alive, and he sees he's shooting off the gun, and he doesn't really see that he shot Carl until he kind of turns around, right? And of course, like, Carl just, like, falls, and Rick's, like, freaking out, and he's like, Carl, and he's, like, carrying him, and they have to save him, basically. Isn't that just tragic, though? Man, I really felt for Rick there. I really did. And they have to, you know, fight through all the zombies, and it's just really insane. They're cutting up zombies, and Michonne's got a katana. It's just insane. They're just killing them all. But it wasn't as epic in the comics, though, because Daryl had, like, oh my god, he came in with a rocket launcher, just blew everything up. Like, oh, yeah. So, you know, they didn't have no rocket launcher in the comics, because Daryl doesn't exist in the comics, and none of that happened. So, it was still crazy in the comics, but in the TV show, it was even more just, like, insane. There they are afterwards, right? You know, and then they have to, like, clean up the entire, you know, thing, right? So, and then the very end is when Rick says, you know, he says to Carl, he's kind of laying over his bed, right? Wait, let me show you the shot. Right? Like he's kind of just lying there, and he's telling Carl, he said, I want to show you the new world. I want to make it all, you know, really for you. Please, Carl, live so that I can show you, you know, please. And we saw that in the TV show, too. So, guys, this is an insane trade. This is just, it's similar to the TV show, but it's also somewhat different. I have to say I'm going to go for the TV show, which one is the best version, but this is insane. Write your comments below on this. This is an insane trade, one of my favorites from the comic book, at least for a little while, until we get to, like, the all-out war Negan stuff. This is, like, really good. So, you can tell, because this is, like, second half of Season 6 here. So we're getting close to being caught up to where the TV show is at. Just a few more trades, and then we're at where it was. So, yeah, guys, if you liked the video, please thumb up below if you wouldn't mind. And you can share, you can favorite. And if you guys want to see Trade 15, write in the comments below. I'm going to do that anyway, but I'm just saying, like, if you guys really want to see it, I'll do it maybe sooner. I'll maybe do the review sooner. And, yeah, and the next one's kind of, I won't spoil it, but I'll say it's like the cleanup. So, yeah, it's kind of not as great, but there is a pretty intense scene at the end. So, and kind of around the middle, there's some pretty great stuff, too. So, yeah, I'll see you guys for the next one.